Spatial computing. This is a term I have heard for years now, and genuinely made my eyes roll when it first popped up. So I'm like, oh, here we go. Fancy Apple marketing.
So in the same way that Mac introduced us to personal computing and iPhone introduced us to mobile computing, Apple Vision Pro will introduce us to spatial computing.
Especially when the Apple Vision Pro, which I got on my face, got announced at $34.99. And while it may be a little bit of Apple marketing, they were not wrong. I mean, I literally people in the VR space, other VR content creators who were literally getting loans just to buy this headset. I personally thought they were insane, and honestly, I still do, because what the hell? Going into debt with VR is crazy. Real quick, if you're new here, my name is Marty, and I review XR stuff. I specialize in VR headset reviews and comparisons, and I have reviewed 14 VR/MR headsets to this day. And this one is going to be the 15th one that I review. I've spent a ridiculous amount of money chasing the best image, the best tracking, and the best way to walk inside a VR game to this point. So I say all that to say the Apple Vision Pro still blew my mind, and we have a lot to talk about. These are my first impressions of the Apple Vision Pro, especially from a guy who tried real hard to ignore it. And first things first, guys, I am an Android guy. I basically have next to zero Apple anything in my life. No iPhone, no Mac, none of it. Last thing I had from Apple was a jailbroken iPod. So I walked into this with absolutely zero expectations, no fanboy goggles on, just as somebody outside of the ecosystem. So what made me pull the trigger on the Apple Vision Pro? And real quick, guys, I do have a little bit of sore throat, so my voice doesn't sound the same. I'm not using AI. I'm just under the weather a little bit. I actually got to try the Apple Vision Pro at AWE 2026, which is an XR convention I went to in Long Beach in June. So outside of meeting my favorite VR content creators and a lot of industry people, I actually got to try the Apple Vision Pro for the first time. And the demo blew my mind. I was so surprised by what I tried, because I never really tried it before. I never went to the demos at the Apple Store or anything like that. Going to that demo and seeing content from my boy Jay Dunn, and sadly is Bradley, like on Twitter and stuff like that, definitely made me pull the trigger. So shout out to you guys for making me spend like $3,000, $4,000. I low-key hate y'all, but I love y'all, man. Shout out to them guys. Go follow them. Moving on to the setup is just very Apple, guys. I mean, it's seamless. You look at a few dots, pinch your fingers a few times, done. It's so easy to get set up with Apple Vision Pro. The unboxing is also really good. I mean, it's very premium, and for how much you pay for this, it better be. In terms of feel, I mean, it's glass, aluminum, genuinely nice to hold, and like I said before, for the money, it better be. The only real catch is the wire running down to a battery pack that sits in your pocket. It is a tethered MR VR headset, not to a PC, just to this little battery right here. That's decent, a little decent weight, but you can easily put it in your pocket. Now, this doesn't bother me because I did use the Samsung Galaxy XR. And oh, by the way, we got to talk about the comparison between this and the GXR, because I have a lot to say. It does beg the question though, how heavy would this headset have been if all this was in here? This probably would have been unwearable for a lot of people. Okay, let's talk Passthrough. This is a really big one. It's one of the first things that blew my mind when I put on the VR headset. A lot of VR headsets that I currently own do Passthrough, and some look better than others. Some look like I've been staring in my room through a crusty, dusty webcam from a decade ago. But I will say that this does not compare to those. My God, this is really good Passthrough. The colors are right. It's sharp enough I can even read my phone while in the headset. I move my head. There's no weird warp or anything like that. Nothing I own right now comes close to the Apple Vision Pro in terms of Passthrough and kind of mixed reality. Now, it's not flawless. I mean, in different light conditions, things do change, but that's honestly a problem with all mixed reality Passthrough as of right now. And I will say a little bit of warbling around the edge of the screen a little bit sometimes, especially with fast hand motion. But that's going to happen when you have, the trackers and the all that stuff right here. But the gap between this and, let's say, like a Quest 3 is not small. It generally feels like a generation. But I will say this, the fact that the Quest is even in the discussion for being close to something that's $3,000, is honestly impressive, and a real shout out to Meta's engineering department for getting it that close at that price. In terms of using the Apple Vision Pro though, you can actually run the entire thing with just your eyes and like a little pinch. You basically look at what you want, tap 2 fingers together, and that's your click. No controllers needed. You can't get controllers, which we'll talk about later, but that is mad impressive with how responsive it is. Sometimes it's too responsive. Typing is kind of the weak spot, but I think typing is a little bit weak in terms of all mixed reality stuff, to be honest with you. But it is better than everything else I have used. Nothing else I have used comes close to typing on the Apple Vision Pro because it's responsive, and even if you're just looking and tapping and typing like that, it's way better than the Samsung Galaxy XR. It's way better than Play for Dreams thing. I personally have not used anything this seamless in terms of interface ever. But for writing actual documents, stuff like that, I would still say just go buy a keyboard, like a Bluetooth keyboard, and just pair it to your headset and then do it like that. Or connect to your PC using ALVR, KRVR, and go about your day. And now we gotta talk about the real creme de la creme of the Apple Vision Pro, which is the displays. And what gets most people is gonna be the displays. With 3660 by 3200 resolution, micro-OLED display panels, and on the M5 chip, they're pushing more pixels and up to 120 hertz. Now, my honest gripe, and it's a real gripe, and a lot of people who have experienced VR will also agree with me. The field of view, aka FOV. I honestly thought this thing would have a wider FOV based on how tech bros talk about it, but it doesn't. The FOV is a lot smaller than you would think, especially with a device like this. And I'm gonna be honest, it was kind of a letdown. There is a visible border, and that real binocular feeling is there. And personally, I just appreciate my FOV when I can get it, but with the current thing being pancake lenses and stuff like that, it's very hard to get that nowadays. But I will say the binocular overlap is amazing. It's basically just one big screen like that, and I do appreciate that. Binocular overlap is very important with VR. And basically, if you don't know what that is, it's basically how both your eyes see the screen. So when you look like through a pair of binoculars and it's like this, that's good binocular overlap. Another thing that blew my mind was the personas. They're insanely realistic, and mine genuinely looks like me. Seeing yourself in like full view, talking to yourself is weird. This is somebody who records a lot of videos of themselves, right? Doing content and stuff like that. It's kind of scary, I'm not gonna lie. I'm just like, ooh, what's next? But I mean, you can even go to parties, meetings with personas, and honestly, they do kind of have like an uncanny valley kind of feeling, but they've worked on it a lot. They're very expressive, and it's actually pretty good. And then there's gaming, and I can already see the comments, but it has no games, Marty. And yeah, you're right. It does have a few interactive experiences, and there are people who mod games on there, but this isn't a gaming device. This is more of a productivity device, to be honest with you, more of a media device, entertainment device. So no, it doesn't come close to PCVR or Meta Quest, but the point is a gaming. Two things that did surprise me though. One, PSVR 2 controllers do work on the Vision Pro now, and that is amazing as somebody who used to make PSVR 2 centered content. I've always said that the PSVR 2 controllers are amazing, and personally some of my favorite VR controllers in the space don't have good battery life, but everything else is awesome. So if you don't like doing like the pinching and stuff like that, you can use the controllers to point around and get around the OS, or use it for PCVR streaming, aka ALVR, KRVR, the usual suspects. And honestly, I struggled using both of those. I'm not gonna lie. I need more time to test this out, need to find the right settings, maybe get some help because I just couldn't get a good experience going, and it might be a me issue. It probably is a me issue. So I'm gonna work on that for the full review or separate videos. So make sure you subscribe, stick around so you can see those videos on how it kind of shapes up as a PC VR device. But the fact this went from having no PC VR streaming to having something that actually works is actually pretty cool. Now let's circle back to actually wearing the Apple Vision Pro, because this one surprised me too. This is actually pretty comfortable. Like, I'm wearing it right now for this video, and I genuinely have had no issues, no neck strain. Now mind you, this is not a light VR headset, guys. over a pound is on your face, and a lot of it is front loaded. Now with the dual knit strap, it does help kind of keep it up. And if you couldn't tell by looking at me, I do, work out a decent little bit. But even for me, put on, I was like, damn, that's a lot of weight, especially towards the front. But here's why it still works. That is the dual knit band. This thing is genius. This is one of my favorite VR straps I have ever used. If I could put a fan into it, it'll be perfect. And honestly, it spreads the weight really good, so you can have it tighter or looser. Personally, I prefer mine a little bit looser, but the fact you have an option is really great. Now, the battery is the other thing. Now, the battery is really good. Doesn't last a very, very long time, but it's good for what you're doing on this device. It's decent. I would say the battery is decent. Now, obviously, probably the next Apple Vision Pro is going to be leaps and bounds in terms of advancement for that. But I think for now, I think most people are probably going to be using this sitting down anyway. You just plug it in. Or get like a power bank and then plug it up to this and then be good. Another cool thing is the EyeSight thing at the front of the goggles. You probably have seen them, me looking at the camera. It might like come off and on, here and there. Really cool. I have not been able to see them though, because even if like my wife comes in, she doesn't see them sometimes. So I don't know, maybe you guys have seen them while I've been recording this video. I have to go back and look, but I do like the fact that it does that because it's kind of unique. And if people are looking at you while you have the headset on, they can see your eyes. So a real cool trick. And hopefully I would like to see them kind of expand more on this, like in different Apple Vision Pro headsets in the future. All right, so that's my first impressions. Now the question is, did the Apple headset get me? And honestly, yeah. As a piece of hardware, this is probably one of the most impressive XR headsets I've ever put on my face. But the small field of view is heavy. Me and leashed to a battery, with PCVR kind of being a bust so far from me right now. And just the price, and oh my God, the accessories. We got to talk about the accessory. Every single add-on for this thing costs a fortune, bro. The Apple tax is real. Apple tax is so real, and it is brutal. I've spent a genuinely stupid amount of money just making this thing comfortable. I had to go get another facial interface and another dual knit strap size because the guy I bought it from has a small head. He has a very small head, and I have a big head. So I had to actually buy another one. And it was a couple $100, man, to get another dual knit band and facial interface. Jesus Christ, Apple. Like, bruh. So if you're buying secondhand, factor in the new price for the the accessories, because you're gonna have to make it comfortable. Prescription lenses also, I had to buy some of those. We're not cheap. Usually I go through VR Rock, which is like my go-to for prescription lenses. So check out VRrock.com, use code MarkDude for checkout. You'll get 10% off. Tell them I sent you. You know what to do. So off my first impressions, who is this actually for? A very, very, very small group of people. This is not for everybody. I wouldn't recommend this to most people, especially not gamers. There's a lot of VR gaming devices that I would say are better for, just VR gaming. And not most normal people will even consider something like this. Now, if you're a hardcore XR nerd or an Apple super user and you've got money to blow, oh yeah, hands down, go get one. It is the most capable thing out there in terms of XR productivity, and nothing else is close in terms of software maturity or seamlessness. And here's the kicker. Even as an Android guy with zero Apple stuff, like none at all, like I said before, I found real value in this. So if you're an iPhone user and Mac user, I think your experience is gonna be way better. Now the full review will come out of this thing once I run it through the paces, include another crack at PCVR. That's one you won't want to miss, guys. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, and come back and see your boy. You'll see a lot of videos of me covering this, because I gotta get my money back. It's people Mark Dude VR, and just remember, I'm just a dude with VR headset. Peace.